In this video, we're going to be designing a VMix based live streaming system. Hey guys, this is AJ the CEO. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So I just wanted to go through and design a system that's going to be to leverage using some software that I am familiar with, but I don't primarily use, is VMix. I had a bunch of people ask me about VMix and using that for church and what type of system that you need for that. So I decided to just show you what if I was building a computer for that system, for that software, what would I do? So let's go ahead and cut over to the computer. So I'm here on PC Part Picker, but let's jump over to VMix first. And let's see exactly what you need to run the software. All right, so let's go over here to software and we're going to look for system requirements. So it's saying that you need Windows 10, an Intel Core i7 processor, 3 gigahertz or higher. Honestly, that's a Ryzen 5 processor, 8 gigabytes of memory. That is the bare minimum. Is recommending an SSD and a dedicated NVIDIA card of 2 gigabytes or more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to design a system with an NVIDIA card, but then I'm also going to design one with an AMD GPU as well, because we know that the AMD stuff will process this the same way. Now, my one concern is similar to the Livestream Studio. It actually has NVIDIA's codec and processing for doing GPU-based encoding built into it, so there was no way to really switch over to AMD. And I tested that on one of my main systems, that it was sluggish as I don't know what, but once I put in an old AMD 750 Ti, which is significantly slower than the processor graphics card that I had in it, it worked great. So it's literally coded for NVIDIA stuff. I do not believe VMix is like that, but we will be testing that. So it's saying if we use these integrated graphics, which is super slow, you can do 1080p or 720p recording and streaming, but a 1050, which is what we currently run on our Pro Presenter computer, and then a 1060, which I think is too much, a 1660 or 2060, way over the top, you'll be good. So these are the specs that we're going to be building this system out. So let's build I haven't built an Intel system in a long time. I'm just being honest with you. What I'm going to do is I will look at an i7 one, but I will start with an AMD equivalent. Well, actually, let's start with the Intel one. So let's come over here and we're going to start with an Intel i7. And I want to see if we can, and then if we go in here, it was saying the graphics of a 620. So let's see if we can get one that has integrated graphics in it. Alright, so this is a 630, so that's obviously higher than what it has. Alright, so if we go with a 97K, good lord, which is 6 cores, and what speed did they say? They wanted it above 3 gigahertz. So let's just say we go with, let's sort it by price. Let's go with 8700. Yeah, let's go with 8700. All right. And we have to get a cooler to go along with this. I am going to go with the Be Quiet brand cooler here. Let's sort that by price. And we'll do this Dark Rock 2. Alright. And then from a motherboard, we need enough space for our capture card, which I will be using a Decklink mini recorder 4K. Let's sort by this. And let's see. Let's go with an ATX board so we have some more space just in case. Even though we have integrated graphics, we're gonna go with, I think the gaming board is gonna be a little bit overkill. Alright, let's go with this Gigabyte one. Alright, so we're just going to look at it here so we can get some pictures. So we have enough space, even though we're having the integrated graphics on the chip, which is what VMix said. This looks good to go. Alright, so let's go back here. And memory, I'm thinking 16 gigs of memory is going to be good. And memory I normally use right here. They said they want an SSD. So what I'm going to do is pick between, and I didn't notice if that motherboard actually has a M.2 on it. It does. Actually has 3. Well, actually no, 2, because that's for maybe for Wi-Fi or something like that. So we're good for M.2. So let's go ahead and look for that for our main OS, and I will bounce between Western Digital as well as Silicon Power, and we want to do SSD M.2 2280, and capacity, a bare minimum we want to do 240. Alright, so what options do we have? Well, we had this Western Digital Blue 250 for, yeah, we'll go with this for $40. That would be our main OS drive, and then we'll add another 2 terabyte drive for let's see, can I get another SSD? Not cache, capacity. Let's see what pricing we're looking at for 1 terabyte. Well, that's not bad, but I want to get a more reputable company there. So I mean, we can get Silicon Power. That's $96. You know what? Let's go with just a regular mechanical drive instead, and we'll be able to get, look for 1 terabyte there, and let's see what we can get. All right, here's a 2 terabyte for $50, which is what I would normally use. Video card, we don't need one, but let's just say we get a 1660 like what they recommended. Like this one is 1660 is starting at like $250, which I think is crazy. But they said 1050, 1060, 1660 as well. So let's look at that range. So 1050 Ti, 1060, 60, and it said the 1660, and then it had 2060, which is beyond overkill. Now granted, I did just do a ultimate presentation PC with a 1070 in it, but hey, so we can get a 1050 right now for about $130. Honestly, that's not bad. That's really good. I would love to get one for 4 gigs of memory, and here's a Ti for 150. So let's do the 150 because it has 4 gigs of memory. So we'll have that, even though it has the processor, has the integrated graphics on it, we're going to have this dedicated one because I want to follow everything that they say is for the system. Now we don't need something super duper fancy, so let's look at either Cooler Master, Fractal Design, or Fantex. Just want to get something decent. Well, the Cooler Master isn't bad. I think I'll go with that. Alright, so we're already at 260 watts, so a 500 watt power supply will be good. I like EVGA. Let's look for a 500 watt. Alright, right there should be good. And operating system, Windows 10. But we'll use SCD keys for that anyway, so we can get this instead of $100, we'll get it for like 20. And VMix is $60 for that license. All right, so right there with the $60, we're looking at around almost right at close to just under $1,000. That's not with keyboard, that's not with monitor. You add that in, you'll be over $1,000. So let's go ahead and save this, and we're going to say this is VMix Intel. All right, so now let's go ahead and build an equivalent. Let's build a new one, and this is going to be a AMD one. So let me see if I can actually, well, I'm going to keep this in reference. I'm going to open this up in a different page over here so I can compare. And now we're going to build a new one. And like I said, I'm thinking of Ryzen. Well, seeing how we got that graphics card, that what I'm going to do is get a 3400G. All right, for about 150, and right there we're about $140 cheaper from a processor standpoint. We don't need to buy a cooler. Motherboard, I'm gonna go with an ATX the same way. We're gonna go with a B450 chipset, and I think the Tomahawk is good. But let's look at this Prime board, Asus Prime board. Yeah, this will work. So I'm gonna go with Asus on this one. All right. All right, so it just needs a BIOS update, so that's fine. We're gonna go with the same memory, which is the G.Skill 16 at 3200. Storage, we'll go with the exact same thing. That's a Western Digital M.2. And that was not an NVMe drive, but it's saying I need to pick one for this. So anyway, I'll be able to get away with that because we're in the same price range. But instead of a 250, I'm gonna go ahead and get a 500 because it's only about $13 more. And we will still add a secondary drive, a Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte for extra storage if we're recording video and things like that. I think this was it. No, it wasn't. It was the 49 one. This one. Alright, so I'm going to still add the same graphics card in here. This was the Asus 1050 Ti. All right. Now it's 150. Now I didn't even include the capture card. Capture card is $200, so that would have actually put this system, the Intel one, around $1,300. Now that I think about it, but we're going to use the same case, the Cooler Master NR600. Same power supply will work, the EVGA 500. And then we still have Windows, Home, and like I said, the capture card, which I will add here and put it on the other one as well. Decklink recorder 4K, which is $199, excuse me, $195. I'm going to edit the parts list over here to add the same thing. Parts 195. Alright, so let me bring this over here so we can see it side by side. So looking at the parts and the price, both of them are without keyboard and without monitor, but both of them have the capture card. As you see, that's the last thing I added on here. So we're looking at 1120 and around like 970, so about a $200 price difference, give or take. Now technically it follows everything outside of the processor, but this processor is in the same speed, if not faster, than this from a performance standpoint. This is a quad core with 8 threads. I think this is just a 6 core with no threads. I could be mistaken. I think so. Yeah, so pretty much you'll get, I mean, it has the benefit of the integrated graphics inside of here that is supported by VMix. This one has a graphics card on it as well too, but again, you're knocking off $130 here, as well as not having to pay for a cooler on top of that. So again, I'm partial to AMD, but again, we're following everything that they recommend except for the processor, which honestly isn't a problem. We're using the NVIDIA chip graphics card the exact same, so it should be fine. Now, if I tested this and found out that it would actually work fine with VMix by itself, which honestly I know it does, because I've been streaming with VMix when I was using it at first. All I had was, actually, let me take that back. I actually started with a NVIDIA card, and then I moved to an AMD card, and I didn't notice any performance difference. This is what I would go with just to make sure it works. When I found out if I can get through it within the first day of me building the system, I would test VMix to see if the NVIDIA card is required. If not, I would return that, and then that's another $100 I can knock off the price. So for those who are asking about designing a system just for VMix, these are the two systems that I would design if I was building one just for that purpose. So anyway, I hope that helped for those who asked for it, and I will have a link to all of these items below. They are affiliate links, so we'll get a little kickback here to help continue our channel, fund the channel. Y'all still getting the same product without any additional price. So I think that's about it. So if you like this type of content, I would appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other great videos to help modernize your media ministry. This is AJ. We will see you on the next video later.